Hello, happy Thursday. I hope wherever you are having a good week and you are safe and well, and same for your loved ones. I am going to get right into it. I'm going to try to keep this video short. Fingers crossed, let's hope we can do it. I've got some props for today. We'll see what happens. I had a migraine starting Tuesday that brought taste and smell issues with it. The rubber balloon smell is kind of a normal thing now, but it gets better, you know, and worse, but I think the headache made it worse. And I had I was smelling things that weren't there. Like last night I was smelling pipe tobacco, oddly enough, and I was like, does anybody else smell pipe tobacco? Of course nobody did. And so I realized, migraine, bringing on the weird stuff. So that was that. It's been a lidocaine crazy week. You know, it is what it is. Right now I have my TENS unit going. That's one of my props. For those who are not familiar with the TENS unit, it's a little device. They use them in medical practices. This is a home version. I've got these wires set up with two leads, one on my left side, one on my right, of my mid-back. And you can, you know, it's hard to see because of the reflection, but you can pick the strength that you want. You can pick oh no, that makes it worse. Okay, I'm going to include a picture with the blog tomorrow. But you can set, you know, right now I have a setting that just, it sort of feels like somebody's, you know, electric shocks down your back, but not in a scary, terrible way, in a sort of comfortable way. I cannot use the TENS unit on my legs, but I can use them on my back, depending on what's going on. But right now my mid-back has been so painful that, you know, it's hard to get comfortable, and I need to get the scans done. I have everything booked, but I may push it back a little bit, break it up, because, I mean, it's not for a while anyway, because I think I would like to get the vaccine before I do it, because I'm going to be in for a lot of visits, and that's unavoidable. So that's still up for discussion. We're still figuring it out. But anyway, so that was one prop. The next back prop that I thought I'd bring out and show you, because this is a very professional operation here, is this delightful backboard. This is where your spine goes. Like, okay, so if you were lying on the floor, your bottom would be here, and you'd lay this way, and your spine would be here, and your neck and shoulders would be at this end. So technically, this little darling, see these notches? I don't know if it's easier to see. Right, there's this one, and this one. Technically, you're supposed to work up to being able to have it in this middle notch, which would bring this thing up like that. So let's just say no, we're not going to be able to do that, because have we seen my spine? My spine's a mess. As it is, I got that because I wanted to stretch out my back, and my vertebrae are crying as we speak, but I thought it would be a good way to stretch things out. And when I first get on it, it's very painful. I'm not even going to lie. But I think it does help to some extent. At least it stretches out my back, because I feel like I scrunch and, you know, squish and try to stretch pretty much all day long. And so it does help to some extent. You know, I put out my yoga mat, and anyway, I try. I'm trying to stretch out my back. I'm trying to do things that I can do. And the TENS unit is helpful. The lidocaine is helpful. It is what it is. The lidocaine ketamine is very helpful. And so that's that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about this week is related to music. I, last week, was having a particularly very painful evening, and I have been listening. I know I've mentioned Rue Paynes, the musician. You know, I only recently came across his music, and I think it's because I was listening to somebody else, and they said, oh, if you like this, you might like this. And I started listening to it, and I was like, well, this is actually pretty nice. And so, sure enough, I wasn't really listening to the lyrics. I was just, because it was so soothing. And so last week when I was making dinner, I was standing in my kitchen, and the song came on, and I was just in pain, and I was standing there, and the words of the song, I was like, wait, what the heck was that song? And I had to go back, and it's a song called Warrior. And there is some, not real controversy, but sort of controversy among people with CRPS. I mean, not like let's get into an argument about it, but there are people that don't mind being called CRPS warriors, and there are other people that would rather not have that title, you know, for their own reasons. I have never minded it, because there's something about, like when I picture a warrior, I picture someone with strength. I picture somebody that's taking the history into account and with them as they go, and arming themselves with knowledge and the power of having people behind them. I don't know. And so when I was first diagnosed, I didn't think of myself as anything. I was lost. I was adrift. And over the years, as I've come across people with, RSD, CRPS, it's been incredibly empowering. And some of us have almost identical stories. And I've met nurses that had similar stories. And it's, for me, I do feel like that upped my warrior status in my head, because I was not alone anymore. And I was battling this thing with other people. And I can't explain it more than that. Like, it's very empowering. So as I'm standing in my kitchen listening to the lyrics, I almost cried, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I have the lyrics on my iPad underneath my phone, so I'm just going to read like the last part of it. It's like, you're walking into victory even in the darkest star. You used to hold it in, but it's time to let it out. And that's the joy, and that joy that's hidden within you. Oh, it's time to hear the sound. Sing, I'm a warrior. And I'm going to include a link to the song with the blog tomorrow, because that's really what I'm blogging about. But there's something when you feel very low and you're in pain, and it's whether it's sickness, whether it's, you know how I feel about this, whether it's a work issue or whatever, and school issue, whether it's a family issue, whether you're arguing with somebody and you feel kicked down, and something, the universe kicks out to you, and not kicks out, reaches out, or kicks out, whatever, reaches out to you and sort of grabs you by the arms and says, listen to this. And that's the kind of moment I had with that song last week. And I've been listening to it, and it's just, I think I needed to hear it in that moment, because I felt like crap. I felt like I didn't feel like much, truthfully. And it was not a good week, not a good night. And that just, I was like, thank you, universe. Thank you, beautiful guardian angels who are up there, knowing what I needed to hear at that moment. And that's the thing about music. That's the thing about, music is the thing we love to love and love to hate. And it bonds us. And sometimes we're bonded in the fact that we hate a song or an artist. And there's something to that. There's something incredibly magical about lyrics and instruments and what people bring to a song. And so I wanted to share that this week, because it was just like, wow, I needed to hear it at that moment. And so I don't mind being called a CRPS warrior, because I'm not alone. I am one of the moderators of a group of 500 people now with CRPS. And we all, we try to bring ourselves into it, and some people are able to tell their stories. Others, just need to take it in and absorb it. And I like to try to engage and try to say, how's everybody doing this week? Because sometimes, if I can be that voice from the universe that just reminds people, like, hey, you're not alone, just someone's thinking of you. Even if you're not ready to talk about it, someone's thinking of you. Because it's always on my mind. You know what I mean? How can I help it? I'm living with it every day. So it's like, wow, I wonder how so-and-so is. They were having surgery, or, they're going through a X, Y, and Z with their RSD, CRPS. And so you kind of take it with you as you go. And so why not consider us warriors? Because we are all fighting the same thing, even if, we're doing it in our own different ways. And we're all fighting something, you know what I mean? Everybody's fighting a battle that we know nothing about. And I try to keep that in my head, as much as I can. I'm not going to go on and on and on. I did film one take before I filmed this one, and it was almost 20 minutes long, so that was crazy town. I had to zip it back a little bit. But I wanted to talk about my shirt. This week's shirt is by Glennon Doyle. It's part of her Momastery shirts from 2017. And I was reminded last week that I'm bringing all these phenomenal shirts, to the public. And some of them aren't available because they're not new. And so or they're sold out. And so this one, I researched it, is available. They sell their merchandise through Zazzle, and it's through Momastery, and I will link in the description so that if you would like the shirt, it's a great shirt. The message is wonderful. I love Glennon Doyle. She's phenomenal. Talk about an advocate. Anyway, so it is available. It's still on sale. There are some other great ones too. You can check it out. Anyway, I hope that you are having a low pain, no pain. Oh my gosh, I can speak. Low pain, no pain. Low aggravation, no aggravation kind of a day. I hope that you will have a good weekend and that wherever you are, you know that someone else is thinking about you. And I am so grateful for you. I will see you tomorrow via the blog and next week for another video. Have a good night.